What we are witnessing now is a display of Ghanaian culture through music and dance by the Ghana community here in Italy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. May I kindly ask that we be seated, please? Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration of the Republic of Ghana, Honorable Kweku Amprechum Sapon, Ambassador of the Republic of Ghana to the Italian Republic, and Permanent Representative to the Rome-based UN agencies, Her Excellency Mrs. Mirini Benya, Eastern Regional Minister, Honorable Seth Kwame Echampong, Director for Sub-Saharan Africa and Director General for Global Affairs of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Ambassador Giuseppe Mestreta, Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Mr. Reginald Yofi Grant, members of the Diplomatic Corps, representative of the German Development Corporation, representatives of Italian businesses and captains of industries, executives of Konyai, and esteemed members of the Ghanaian diaspora here in Italy, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and buongiorno. Thank you very much for being here today at the Diaspora Investment Summit, Rome 2024, organized by the Ghana Investment Promotion Center in collaboration with the Embassy of Ghana in Rome, supported by the German Development Corporation and the European Union. My name is Hanasiniba Fentu. Before we begin, may I kindly ask that we stand again for the Ghanaian national anthem. Thank you very much. You may kindly take your seats. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, you are very welcome to the eternal city of Rome. Today, we are here to have conversations around the theme, promoting trade and investment, facilitating market access and business opportunities between Ghana and Italy. The entire program for today is in 3 parts. The first session, we would have some remarks from very important personalities amongst us, after which there will be a presentation on business opportunities by Mr. Yofi Grant, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, within the focus areas of today's gathering. The second session will be a panel discussion on a theme, promoting cross-border investments, exploring opportunities and challenges for Ghanaians and Italian businesses, where we would have 6 panelists to discuss matters around this theme. This session will be moderated by Mr. Joseph Miraku Inti, who is the Investment Promotion Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. The last session, we would have some closing remarks, after which we would have lunch in another ballroom of the hotel. Do please take advantage of the numerous opportunities that will be made available here today. Connect, network, and learn a lot more about Ghana. And basically, we are getting you into Ghana. To get the event going, as I mentioned earlier, we have a few remarks for you. Now to the opening address. Do allow me with a resounding round of applause. Welcome Mr. Reginald Yofi Grant, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center.
Thank you very much. I'm usually called Yofi Grant, so when somebody says Reginald Yofi Grant, I'm not sure it's me they're talking. But, right? But first of all, buongiorno. It's my pleasure to be in the eternal city of Rome. And I must confess, before this thing, yesterday night, I went around looking, and I was very happy with what I saw. I felt like I was a part of history. So indeed, we are very happy to be here. This program, as she did explain, is connecting us with you. I must say that Italy has a very curious relationship with Ghana already that predates many of the European experiences on the continent. And this morning, as we were riding here, the ambassador of Ghana to Italy remarked about my beads. And she gave me a little lecture, which I had heard about, but I didn't have the detail, that these beads that we wear, and has become almost representatively African, truly emanated from Italy, from Venetia. And they started trading beads. Beads were currency then. That was the currency of the time. Hundreds of years before the Portuguese, the Dutch, the English, the Germans actually came to the African continent. So that is why I feel like I'm at home, because I have a bit of history on my hands, and I have a strong connection with Italy as I'm here. Yes. I would first like to lean on the protocols already expressed. Ambassador Mistretti, Deputy Minister Kweku Amprachum, Minister for the Eastern region, Sada Champong, Ambassador, sorry, I think I've turned it around. I should have been first, but I'm more on the business side than on the diplomatic side, so please forgive me. Ambassador, my sister, the many business people who are here, who will today connect to the African continent. Indeed, we are very pleased to have you here. I'm surprised that we have a full room. The program is really under the auspices of the EU, Germany, Ghana Joint Action on Jobs, Migration and Development, and has engaged us in 4 countries in Europe. And it's instructive that we chose Italy last, because quite recently our engagement with Italy as a country has been elevated much more than we had before. And to tell you how fast it's gone, sadly we have ITA choosing Ghana as one of its first stops in Africa. And so we have direct flights from Rome to Accra. That is actually sounding a warning shot to you people here. I would want to see you in Ghana in the next few months. You have no excuse because you have a direct flight. And if it's the ticket you want, we can discuss, but you have a direct flight. And so we are here today to engage with you, and we hope that we can be as engaging as possible in the sense that we'll have a dispassionate and real discussion on how to help each other build a better world for ourselves. Our engagement on the diaspora side is also important because we recognize the power of the diaspora as a transforming agent in many economies. But once we are here, we will not just speak to the diaspora, we'll speak to the business people here for whom a glaring opportunity awaits you in Ghana and on the African continent. With that, I warmly welcome you, and I look forward to a very engaging time, and I hope that next year by this time, many of you will be proud to say, yeah, I was at that seminar and workshop, and because of that, my life has become much better than it was before. Thank you very much, and you will see me again soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yofi Grant. Here to give her welcome address is Her Excellency, Mrs. Mirini Benya, Ambassador of the Republic of Ghana to the Italian Republic and the permanent representative to the UN-based agencies here in Rome. Mrs. Benya, Ichi, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Buonasera. Honorable Deputy Minister Kweku Amprachum Sapong, our Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration of Ghana, Honorable Setha Champong, our Eastern Regional Minister, Ambassador Giuseppe Mistretta, Director General for Global Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of Italy, and a good friend of Ghana, Chief Executive of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, my dear brother, Mr. Yofi Grant, members of the Diplomatic Corps, representatives of Italian businesses, representatives of Ghanaian businesses, Nananum, Nanahima, Nime, Name, president and executives of the Council of Ghanaian Associations in Italy, Konya, my very dear compatriots, distinguished guests. It is with immense pleasure that I warmly welcome you all to the eternal city of Rome for the GIPC Diaspora Investment Center. It is indeed an honor to have you all here today. We applaud the CEO of the GIPC, Mr. Yofi Grant, for this innovative initiative. What Mr. Yofi Grant didn't say earlier was when we were having the conversation and I noticed his beads, which, as he said, was the currency used between merchants of Venice and merchants in Ghana many centuries ago. What I said, or what I should have said, was that his beads could buy a Ferrari. Today, we set the stage for strategic dialogues and unlocking of investment opportunities in the quest to deepen the trade and investment partnership between Ghana and Italy. This summit is unique in that it seeks to harness the extensive contribution of the Ghanaian diaspora as enablers and partners of this aspiration. We are here today to connect, to collaborate, and to network. Let's make the most of it. Again, as has been mentioned, the successful operation of numerous Italian companies in Ghana and a vibrant Ghanaian diaspora in Italy is a testimony to the very solid relationship between Ghana and Italy. There are many Italian companies in Ghana which have been there for generations. Indeed, many of them now are part Ghanaians. And this has built a solid foundation for commercial collaboration. Italy's rich expertise in technology and engineering, combined with Ghana's dynamic and entrepreneurial private sector and conducive business landscape, creates the synergy for promising partnerships and effective collaboration. The relationship between Ghana and Italy, I'm proud to say, has reached unprecedented levels in recent times. Indeed, as our Honorable Minister said earlier, the relationship is hot. This has been evidenced by the visit of His Excellency Sergio Mattarella, President of the Italian Republic to Ghana in April 2024, and the visits to Italy by the President of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, in July 2023 and January 2024. Numerous other official visits between the two countries underscore these very strong ties. Today provides an opportunity to explore the vast potential for enhanced trade cooperation. A significant measure of the burgeoning business relationship is the commencement of direct flights by ITA Airways on the routes between Rome and Accra. This is the first direct service by ITA in sub-Saharan Africa, and it's meaningful. Now you can reach Ghana in 5 hours. So the business between Ghana and Italy should be accelerated and enhanced by these direct services. For me, it was very nostalgic because I remembered the very successful operation on the route by the erstwhile Ghana Airways and the erstwhile Alitalia. We are sure that this service will be even more successful. Importantly, the commercial relationship between Ghana and Italy must be premised on trade and not aid, aligning with the vision and agenda of His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. The GIPC Summit underscores Ghana's focus on mutually beneficial commercial relationships on equal terms. Despite global headwinds that confront a world dealing with challenges such as post-COVID economic issues, climate change, and conflicts, the government of Ghana has continued to roll out impactful and successful economic transformation programs. These have established Ghana as a frontier for manufacturing and industrialization in the region. As a result of this, there are many opportunities, and we urge you all to take advantage of these opportunities. Ghana has become pivotal in driving the continent's business aspirations. It is seen as a gateway to the continent for a number of factors, including its strategic geographic location, its democratic credentials, its commitment to the rule of law, its enabling and conducive environment for doing business, and of course, the traditional warm hospitality of the Ghanaian people. Ghana's position is further enhanced by the fact that Accra is now the hub of the African Continental Free Trade Area, creating a single continental market and giving access to anyone doing business in Ghana to the wider African market of approximately 1.4 billion persons. To the Ghanaian diaspora, you are a driving force behind the country's economic progress. Your contributions, whether through remittances or indeed knowledge transfer, because you've lived here, so you therefore have access to modern practices, have a profound and unique impact on Ghana's socio-economic landscape. Everywhere I go in Italy, I receive very positive reports about the Ghanaian diaspora in Italy. You are seen as well-integrated, law-abiding, and hardworking. I applaud you all. Your contributions are across various sectors, such as football, which is now probably the most important economic factor, industry, and agriculture. We have cause to celebrate you. Your expertise, innovative ideas, and remittances can ensure a prosperous future, not just for Ghana, but also for you. I have personally engaged with a number of our compatriots who have made efforts to link Ghanaian and Italian companies. Some of them are present here today, and I applaud you all. You are good ambassadors of Ghana and also pivotal players in our bilateral relationships. I should say that partnerships with the diaspora specifically includes women in the diaspora who have a significant role to play. The inclusion of women is key. Empowering women and including them in economic issues is not just the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do. In Ghana, women have played pivotal roles in shaping the economy and contribute daily to the economy. I encourage you all to take full advantage of this forum, to engage in discussions, to explore opportunities, to ask questions, and to forge meaningful partnerships and networks. Let's all go away from this forum enriched by what has happened today. One of the core functions of the Ghana Embassy in Rome is to facilitate business and investment in Ghana. I assure you of the Embassy of Ghana's support and its commitment to strengthening economic ties between Ghana and Italy. The Embassy is available and positioned to facilitate and support your business objectives in every way practicable. So please do not hesitate to come to us at any time. Our doors are open. Let me conclude here by extending my heartfelt gratitude to the Honorable Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Amprachum Sapong, for his support and for being here today, and also to the Honorable Eastern Regional Minister, Honorable Setha Champong, and also permit me to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Ambassador Giuseppe Bistretta for his unwavering support to Ghana. Thank you, Ambassador. Special thanks to the Ghanaian community, my compatriots, for your continuous support and for being ambassadors of Ghana in Italy. We appreciate all your efforts, and particularly, we appreciate the exemplary leadership demonstrated by the leaders of the Ghanaian associations in Italy, particularly the president of the Ghanaian National Association in Italy, Konya, Mr. Michael Techi Akwa, and his executive team. Once again, I warmly welcome you all and look forward to productive exchanges and opportunities that will emanate from this event. Thank you. Grazie mille.
Thank you very much, Her Excellency Mrs. Mirini Benya, Ambassador of Ghana. May I kindly ask to the podium Mrs. Abena Owusua Amponsabiu, Program Component Manager of the German Development Corporation, Ghana, to give her remarks.
Thank you very much. Deputy Foreign Minister, Honorable Kweku Amprechum Sapong, Eastern Regional Minister, Your Excellencies, please permit me to stand on already mentioned protocols to render my remark on behalf of the Country Director of German Development Corporation in Ghana. It is such an honor to speak to you at this Diaspora Engagement Forum, one that is strategic partnership between the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration in Ghana, the GIPC, Ghana Investment Promotion Center, and the Embassy of the Republic of Ghana in Italy. Thank you, Her Excellency Marina Benya, for your warmth. We appreciate. As part of Ghana Diaspora Connect Roadshow in Europe, we are looking forward to our joint efforts in economic collaboration between investment opportunities and ultimately contributing to the continued growth of trade relations between Ghana and Europe for the benefit of both sides. On one hand, Europe remains a key driver of innovation, technology, and sustainable development. The European Union, as the world's key exporter of goods and services, boasts a sophisticated infrastructure, diverse industries, and a high purchasing power consumer base, offering a robust marketplace for global trade and investment. On the other hand, Ghana, coming from decades of stability or stable economic growth before COVID-19 pandemic, has a young population which is eager to seek opportunities on local and international job markets, as well as educated graduates, for instance, in the IT sector. Until today, European investors in Ghana and the whole of African continent remain comparably low due to uncertainties and perceived uncertainties, as sometimes would have it. Risk avoidance and outdated cliche in which the Western view on Africa is dominated by conflicts and humanitarian crisis, overlooking not only the great potentials, but also the very dynamic positioning of Africa and its diaspora as a securely fastened hitchpin in the discourse of socioeconomic development. The diaspora serves as a great base, a great resource pool that we would want to look at going forward towards Africa's development. We believe that the diaspora communities play an even more important role to strengthen the ties between Europe and Ghana. According to the World Bank Migration and Development Brief, Ghana recorded $4.7 billion diaspora money transfers and remittances in 2022. And as at last Sunday, the 16th of June, on the International Day of Family Remittances, a record of $4.3 billion is reported for 2023. It sounds that the contribution of you, Nananom diaspora communities, also in Italy and Europe, plays a significant role in our socioeconomic discussions. For many, it means provision of their primary needs such as food, education, access to medical care, and shelter. These existing ties provide a unique opportunity for diaspora members and companies to become engaged and invest in Ghana. Being here today and through the whole roadshow, which was in France, in Germany, Switzerland, and now in Italy, would like to promote concrete opportunities, as Mr. Grant mentioned, in investment and also engagement schemes. You might ask yourself, why is this topic so important for European Union and German cooperation? It is because we see the power of the diaspora. It is because we see that Africa has a positioning that has to be well harnessed towards development. In our projects and collaboration with Ghana government and our partners, we have addressed migration in a very comprehensive way, providing a 360-degree approach to migration. We support during counseling services of regular migration. We support also when you want to come back and reintegrate. When you are within the diaspora, we don't leave you. We also support to harness your potentials as much as possible back home for Ghana and also in your destination country, for this case, Italy. So with our cherished partners here, we have together worked at the macro level and policy level to have the most recently launched diaspora engagement policy of Ghana. Ghana can now proudly say that it has a diaspora policy that backs the engagement of the diaspora. We are thankful to the government of Ghana for such collaboration. Not only do migrants remit substantial amounts back to their communities, but also promote trade and investment and bring innovation, skills, knowledge to their countries of origin, as hinted by Her Excellency Benya. Supporting this is not only a way to support development in a more sustainable way, but it is also a way to provide a very positive view on opportunities that migration and knowledge, skill exchange, and transfer can bring. GIZ, working on behalf of the German government and also implementing European Union's program on jobs, migration, and development. We want to engage the diaspora organizations, diaspora communities, the African diaspora, the continental diaspora, the Ghanaian diaspora, whichever category of diaspora you find yourself, as our policy outlines, to bring back home to develop with us together. In partnership with Forum, based in France, we will embark on a recruitment drive for skilled diaspora members in Europe as part of the European Union, Germany, Ghana joint action on migration, jobs, and development. And we are looking forward to bring a call where young Ghanaian diaspora who are interested in giving of their expertise in fields of engagement in Ghana could be supported holistically to come home to do this within a period of time. This is one that is being mimicked from the example or the German model that has been done over the past decade since 1994 in Ghana, where diaspora are supported to come home to bring their know-how, their skills to support in sectors that there are gaps in Ghana to help knowledge exchange. When it comes to concrete actions to further or foster investments, I want to highlight the VIDU Africa project. It leverages diaspora money transfer to create jobs and increase income for micro and small entrepreneurs in 6 African countries. We do this in Ethiopia, Tunisia, Cameroon, Togo, and also in our homeland, Ghana. The core of the VIDU approach, or a project that is also supported by the German government, is simple yet powerful. Small, medium-scale enterprises receive financial support from friends and family abroad and contributions in this regard. We look forward to having you also come join such drive of empowering small, medium-scale enterprises. We are keen to continue to collaborate on providing socioeconomic prospects for Ghanaians living abroad while finding sustainable solutions to irregular migration and harnessing the positive impact of regular migration. We say migration is good. Let's do it right and get the potentials for back home. We appreciate your presence here today, and we look forward to further engagement. And today, with the taxi driver that I had in the morning, I learned my Italian line, so let me give it a try. Grazie mille. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Amponsah-Bio. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Nananom. as Ghana seeks to deepen engagement with Italy. The Roadshow emphasizes sectors aligned with strengths and interests of both regions. It is with this one line that I wish to invite up on stage to give his remarks the Director for Sub-Saharan Africa at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Italian Republic, Ambassador Giuseppe Mestretta.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to the Ghanaian delegation, to the ambassador, to the vice minister, the minister, all the delegation, chief executive officer. There is a big delegation from Ghana. This is an honor for us to have you as a guest in Italy. So welcome. And today, in the early morning, we received them at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for a conversation on many topics. I'm glad to see that there are many people coming from Italy, from Ghana, from the diaspora. I hope that you live well in Italy, even though it's very hot during these days. But really, we are happy with the relation. I believe that one of the reasons why me and Ambassador Merene Benia are very close friends is because there are so many visits from Italy to Ghana, from Ghana to Italy, that she should open up a small office inside the Ministry of Foreign Affairs because we see each other too often. And it's a pleasure in any case. In fact, as was said by the previous speakers, twice the president of Ghana was received in Italy, both times at the highest level, and once our President Mattarella recently, a few months ago, went to Ghana for an official visit. So this is the most important initiative that we can imagine when a president goes to Africa. And we have a president who goes quite frequently in Africa. But this trip was in consultation, of course, with our ministry, and we suggested Ghana as a good destination for politics, business, culture, and everything. Now, another symbol is the flight, the direct flight. Every speaker already underlined the importance of the ITA renewed flight, because ITA is the successor of Alitalia, let's say. And when I was young, I always dealt with Africa. I remember there was Alitalia flight, as Ambassador Merene said before, and it was nice. And it is nice. It's the only flight up to now of ITA in the sub-Saharan Africa. So it means something. So as the chief executive officer said earlier, you don't have any excuse. Now you have to go 5 hours flight and you are there, or vice versa to Rome. But it's not only business. Business is important. Our import-export is one of the highest in Africa, almost 1 billion euro. In which Ghana exports more than we export to Ghana. So it's an advantage for Ghana. And, but also investment are important. We have any oil company is the biggest investor in Ghana. They made the biggest investment in Ghana in history recently. But many other small and medium-sized industry will be there now, especially that the direct flight is organized and is working. But I was saying, not only for business, it's also important because now we live problematic moments in Africa in which there are revolutions, coup d'etat, Islamic fundamentalists, etc. And Ghana is a resilient country and loyal to democracy, constitutional principles, and values, rule of law. This is very important. So for a country like us, in this moment in time, it's important to have like-minded countries to collaborate with in the continent. And Ghana is certainly among the #1 countries in the continent for us. So all indicators are up for Ghana: culture, economy, politics, and you name it. So thank you for being here, and thank you for the delegates, for the delegation, for the Vice Minister, and the other members of the government to be here with us, and I wish the best success of this forum. Grazie.
Ambassador Administrator, thank you. To our keynote address. Our keynote speaker is the Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration of the Republic of Ghana, in charge of political and economic affairs. He is the Member of Parliament for Asante Mampong in the Ashanti region of Ghana. He is a graduate of the University of Ghana and a postgraduate of the University of Westminster in London, with a background in housing management. Ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding round of applause, help me welcome Honorable Kweku Amprechum Sapong.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It's good to be in Rome, a city of history and known for its architecture. If I don't take anything back, at least I will take the architecture of Rome back home to Ghana, yes. It's good to know that the relationship between Italy and Ghana has grown from warm to hot. That is the words of the President of Ghana. And it's based on the recent or the ongoing and frequent visits between the two leaders of the two countries. So I am a firm believer that something good is going to come out of this roadshow. And it's not by just accident, as the CEO said, that Italy was chosen as the last point of call. Ambassador Administrator, Director General of the Global Affairs at the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Ambassador Mrs. Benya, Ghana's ambassador in Rome, Honorable Kwame Champon, Eastern Regional Minister from Ghana, the CEO, Mr. Yofi Grant. I will add the original, because that is important. Yes. CEO of Ghana Investment Promotion Center, and the man who has been selling Ghana for the past 7.5 years. He is always globetrotting. And if you have clocked more air miles than him, then I'll have to say you are also on a different planet altogether. Representatives of the government of Italy, captains of industry from Italy, leaders and members of the diasporan community and associations in Ghanaian associations in Italy, the chiefs, Nananum, fellow Ghanaians, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I am honored to be part of this important event, the Ghana Diaspora Connect Roadshow. And let me use this opportunity to thank the Ghana Investment Promotion Center for the laudable initiative aimed at boosting diaspora investment in Ghana by fostering a conducive business environment. Let me also thank the German government and GIZ for partnering us, sponsoring us, and being with us to make this roadshow become a reality. This event seeks to engage and mobilize diasporan entrepreneurs and investors in Europe to collaborate with Ghanaian businesses, promote sustainable investment, as well as create jobs in key sectors of the Ghanaian economy in areas like agriculture, agro-processing, climate change and renewable energy, real estate and property development, manufacturing, hospitality, tourism, among others. It is worthy to mention that the overall objective of this roadshow falls within Ghana's domestic and foreign policy objective, which is people-centered and underscores the importance of maintaining strong bilateral economic bonds with our international partners and diaspora communities in order to attract the much-needed foreign exchange or foreign investment to build a strong and a resilient economy. Ladies and gentlemen, immediately after the assumption of power by the current government in 2017, the government enhanced our economic diplomacy and repositioned same to ensure that the economic interest, our economic interest in international engagements. The government re-established the Economic Trade and Investment Bureau in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to champion its economic transformation agenda through the Ghana missions abroad in the promotion of Ghanaian goods and services, while liaising with institutions such as the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Ghana Export Promotion Authority, Association of Ghana Industries, Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, among others. The Economic Trade and Investment Bureau at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is also mandated to work closely with our missions to promote our respective goods and services, capitalizing on our competitive advantages and competitive edges. Currently, the government economic agenda focuses on transforming the structure of the economy by reducing dependence on imports to become a net exporter of semi-product and manufactured commodities, with the private sector leading the agenda. Trade and investment opportunities abound in various sectors of the Ghanaian economy in the areas of agric, mining, technology, ICT, digitalization, energy, and tourism. And I know Mr. Yofi Grant in his presentation will delve deeper into it. And I know eventually he will take you to the globe and let you know that Ghana is at the center of the world. And I'm sure God did not just make it by accident, by making Ghana the center of the world. If you go to the center of everything, there's something unique, something special. You have to go there and discover it. So even though we have our diasporians, the Ghanaians, and Italian investors, all I'm saying is there's a center of the world, that is Ghana. If you've been there once or twice and you still haven't discovered it, please come again, because maybe you have missed it on these times that you visit. There is something special in Ghana, and it's awaiting for you to be there. With regards to the energy sector, government is dedicated to broadening the energy mix and achieving renewable energy projects to address escalating demand and mitigate the impact of climate change. The agricultural sector alone accounts for approximately 20% of Ghana's GDP and employs 60% of the total workforce. The sector is estimated to be worth $1 trillion by 2030, creating an opportunity for investors to invest in the sector, especially under the government flagship programs of Planting for Food and Jobs and One District, One Factory initiatives by the current government. Prospective investors in the energy sector may invest in areas of solar, wind, hydro, biomass energy schemes to augment the energy efficiency of the country. Other opportunities in the sector include the off-grid power solutions, establishment of transmission entities, establishment of private distribution entities, and the penetration of solar energy sector. I am pleased to inform you that Ghana's landscape is made up of a myriad of minerals, ranging from gold, bauxite, diamond, manganese, iron ore, copper, lithium, chrome, nickel, limestone, and quartz. And it's important to note that in Ghana, every inch of Ghana, there is gold. It is not by mistake that when the British discovered Ghana, let me put it that way, there used to be a Ghana in historical times. That was the original name. Some 500 years ago, we were called Ghana. The British came and they found gold in every corner of Ghana. They decided to change the name of the original Ghana to Gold Coast. And the gold is still there. It is the issue of how to mine it in a very sustainable way. So if you are interested in the gold business, you can't go wrong if you decide to come to Ghana. That's why I'm saying that God made no mistake by making Ghana the center of the universe. And those of you in the financial markets, almost all the rich countries or the established countries have got gold backing their currency. And if there's a country that mineral that you need to back your currency is in abundance, the four corners, then it is not by mistake that Ghana was created. God did extremely well by giving us Ghana. And I will say that however gold, diamonds, and manganese and bauxite are mined on commercial quantities and commercial basis, investment opportunities abound also in the development of diamond industry in Ghana, as well as in the establishment of an aluminium smelter and the development of iron and steel, which has been found in commercial quantities up in the north of the country. The government of Ghana has enacted policies to attract foreign investors in this regard and has simplified the regulatory processes and procedures in the mining sector. The government has put in place measures to ease the burden of doing business in the country by digitalizing the economy through initiatives such as the e-business registration system and a paperless port clearance system, among others. The President, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, by an act of parliament, established the Office of the Special Prosecutor to deal with corrupt and corruption-related offenses and cases, and mandated the Office of the Special Prosecutor to investigate and prosecute alleged corruption-suspected cases and offenses, and to recover proceeds of corruption and corruption-related cases, and to stem out the acts and incidences of corruption. Ghana's legal system is structured in a way to address any challenges that may arise in the course of doing business in Ghana. And our legal system is actually structured or mirrors the British system or the English law. So you come to find out about 80% of our legal system is very much like the British system. You will find only just a few areas, some 20 or 15% that we have tweaked it to try and localize it. So by and large, it is like a British system in operation. So you know when you come to do business in Ghana, you are very much guaranteed that you will not be shortchanged. The government has also put in place attractive incentives through the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, and Mr. Grant will be talking about it. The institution mandated by law to encourage, promote, facilitate goods and services and equipment. And also there is an automatic immigration quota systems depending on your paid-up capital. strategic investment initiatives and investment guarantees. Ghana, we have established 7 economic zones which provide incentives to investors in various areas with a lot of juicy benefits. Ladies and gentlemen, investing in Ghana grants the investor access to a wider ECOWAS market, or Economic Community of West African States, which is a market of 370 million people, as well as the African continent of 1.4 billion. I would want to say that it has now been established without question that Ghana is the gateway. It is, and it's established 100%. No challenge, no opposition. That we are now the gateway, first to West Africa. And as the headquarters of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, we have now also been established as the gateway to Africa. So if you want to enter Africa and take advantage of the vast opportunities that abound in Africa, you start with Ghana. We will receive you with a bar of gold, and then you can proceed. The African Continental Free Trade Area is the largest trade bloc in the world in terms of participating countries. But it's also a pioneer. Ghana is a pioneer in the guided trade initiative to kickstart the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area. And given the large market access awaiting the potential investors, the government of Ghana has taken measures are in place to quickly address all trade barriers that may affect a prospective investor. And I wish to use this opportunity to emphasize the important role that our diasporan community, which is made up of the individuals and members of the Ghanaian network, associations and communities, as well as people of African descent, play in our national development. This has also been highlighted at international, regional, and national levels, with the African Union ECOWAS Commission placing emphasis on the relevance of the diaspora in continental and national development. I therefore use this opportunity to urge all of you to use our established missions abroad to engage the international community towards attracting important investment to Ghana, and wish to reassure you of the government of Ghana's support towards a fruitful investment partnership. It is my firm belief that this platform provided by the GIPC with our partner GIZ will set the tone for further cooperation. And I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Honorable Amprechum Sapong. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have a room full of senior government officials, a room full of captains of industries, a room full of traditional leaders. Before we move on to the second part, I just want you to turn to each other. Just say hello. First point of contact, just say hello to each other. And in Ghana, we say akwaba in the Akan language. So kindly turn to each other, say hello, say akwaba to each other. And if you would also want to stand and shake your legs, you can just stand for a minute, shake your legs before we move on to the second part, just for about 30 seconds before we move on to the second part. Thank you very much. May we kindly take our seats to commence the second session. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please, let's take our seats. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please, let's take our seats. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to commence the second session. Please kindly take your seats so we can start the second session. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
Hello? Hello? Can we sit down so we go on to the next part of the program, specifically to talk about the opportunities that we have?
Hello, please take your seats. To start the second session, ladies and gentlemen, I would want to call back on stage Mr. Yofi Grant to give a short presentation on the investment opportunities in Ghana. And before he can give the presentation, I want to ask that everybody take their seats.
Hello? Hello?
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon again, and it's a pleasure to be back here to speak about the Ghana opportunity. And the minister started by saying that it was not by accident that God put us where he put us in the center of the world. And very often, when I say, people ask me, but how do you know that you're in the center of the world? We are the only country that can boast of being on latitude 0 and longitude 0. So it's not even we who say it, that's what it is. We are in the center of the world. And as I did mention, many, many centuries ago, even before the Europeans, the other Europeans came to the African continent, Venetian tradesmen had been trading with the old Songhai Empire, the old Ghana Empire. And so we are not new to each other. And we believe that today we'll go back to that relationship which was started many centuries ago. And then we'll go back. Can I just ask by a show of hands, how many of you have been to Ghana? Oh, okay. It's quite a number. And but the rest of you haven't been to Ghana. You are going to go to Ghana. But just to show you a sneak preview of where we are with Ghana.
In the heart of West Africa lies a land brimming with untold stories, vibrant cultures, and boundless spirits. Welcome to Ghana, the heartbeat of Africa, where nature and culture harmoniously exist. Feel the rhythm of life as you wander through the vibrant market and witness the infectious joy and warmth of the Ghanaian people, their skill and determination that provides sustenance for their communities. Immerse yourself in the rhythms of the drum, the graceful movement of traditional dance, and symphony of cultures languages, and traditions that coexist in harmony. Explore the rich history of Ghana as you walk through the corridors of our historic forts and castles, a reminder of the resilience and strength of the Ghanaian people. Embark on an unforgettable safari in our forest reserves and parks, where wildlife roam freely in their natural habitat, and take in the spectacular beauty of nature that envelopes Ghana with its imposing waterfalls and water bodies. Uncover the essence of the legendary Gold Coast, renowned as one of the world's leading producers of gold and adorned with other minerals like diamonds, iron, bauxite, lithium, and manganese. And beyond the treasures, lush vegetations thrive and abundant oil and gas flow. Experience the vibrant energy of the cities where modernity and tradition coexist, where industries are thriving, backed by continuous technological advancement, with people exuding an unwavering spirit of progress. And don't forget, we are the commercial hub of Africa and a symbol of democracy on the continent. Indeed, this is Ghana, a home for the diaspora community and persons from all walks of life, where every moment is an opportunity to create lifelong memories, discover the magic, embrace the spirit, and let Ghana leave an indelible mark on your soul.
So this just gives you a sneak preview of Ghana for those who haven't been there. And for those who have already been there, this is just a confirmation of what you see. Isn't that true? Yeah. You know, so the reason why we are here today is, of course, I mean, to cement a long life relationship that we've had with Italy. And quite recently, the exchanges at the top level, at the highest levels between the government of Ghana and the government of Italy have reinforced and refocused that there is a great opportunity of mutual benefit that we need to exploit. And that has started, as Ambassador Mistretti said, with the first flight to Sub-Saharan Africa by ITA. That definitely opens the door, because to connect, you need to be able to move and come in there. And so we have this connection that we must exploit. But that is not the only reason. The only reason is that Ghana, in recent times, has repositioned itself as a gateway into the African continent through either policy initiatives or through representation at various levels, but through a desire to make sure that the narration of Africa being the dark continent, the narration of Africa always being at the back, is changed. And truly it has changed. If you look at the global statistics, as of 2018, out of the 10 fastest growing economies in the world, 6 were from Africa. That hasn't changed today. But that tells us something that we will discuss before the end of this presentation. Oops. Oh, I think they realize that I've said the whole story already, so there's no point to it. So, I mean, these tells us some of the things that are happening already out of that. And I don't know whether I spelled it properly. Well, Piano Mate Plan. That doesn't have Ghana currently emerged, but soon will have Ghana emerged. Gives us a framework within which we'll develop. And Ghana, being a champion of democracy and is also known for its peace and stability in the sub-region and on the continent, is a natural ally of Italy, which believes in the same. And for us, that is a very important thing to do. I mean, already the Italian government has a program that is going there, training at the lowest level, training farmers and all that. And as the minister said, we have Italian families that are third-generation Ghanaian families. They've been there that long, and they are a symbol of progress, especially in the construction and housing industry. Not only that, they were there long ago to help us build our dam, which provides energy in Ghana. They were there long ago to help us build our homes, etc. And we need to take advantage of that relationship and grow it further. So let me just, for those of you who haven't been to Ghana, and for those of you who maybe just need a refresher, the country profile of Ghana is very interesting. We are number one We are known as the most peaceful country in West Africa today. We have a very important perspective, which is important for the investor: political stability. And Ghana today is a bastion of peace and security in the sub-region, which has been, saddled with fundamentalism and a bit of terrorism and all that. Ghana still remains in partnership, particularly with Europe, as a bastion of peace and security, and remains as the most attractive place to invest and do business. But that's not the reason alone why we are here. We are here to open the gateway into the biggest market, as the minister said, on the African continent, by providing a safe landing, a secure landing, and engagement with some of our partners. Now, I always say that the Ghana story is best told by 3 O's. The first one is opportunity. And I'll show you the opportunities that we present to you. The second one is openness. As a country, we've always been known to be open. We were the first country to gain independence on the sub-Saharan African continent, which led to a lot of Afro-optimism and moved other countries to gain independence, and therefore create a new continent that is now changing its narrative. And I dare say that it is really changing its narrative. The problem of Africa today, as I see it, and I see it from a different perspective than most of you do, because I represent Sub-Saharan Africa on the World Association of Investment Promotion Agencies. And the big problem we've identified is that not that Africa is that risky. A lot of the risks that we talk about are perceptions, and not that many of those perceptions are true. The real problem is Africa hasn't told its story. The story of Africa has hardly been told by Africans. It's been told by news media and other places. And so for us, this is a great opportunity to tell our own story by fact, which you can check. And the fact that you already have businesses going to Africa, the fact that you have businesses that are foreign businesses from Europe, from the Americas, that they've been there for over 100 years, tells you something about that risk perception. That is a perception that must be corrected. And that is why we are here. And I've said the 2 O's. Now, who knows what the last O is? If you know, we'll give you a box of chocolate. You already have chocolate on your seats. You should eat some of that chocolate. It will give you a bit of energy before lunch. The last O is optimism. We are extremely optimistic about our future. Much more than many of you are. My optimism lies in the view that Africa just does not only present an opportunity for people who are looking for key investments, but Africa presents an opportunity to solve the world's economic problems. And before we finish, I'll prove to you why. And that is the reason why you must, by all means, look to Ghana and look into Africa. Just for the diaspora, just to give you a bit of the size of the diaspora, the African continent is 55 countries. But you find Africans and Ghanaians in at least 53 of those countries. There are over 1.3 million, 1.7 million Ghanaians spread all over the world. And for us, the reason why we are linking Africa and the diaspora with the investment opportunities is that they are the best cultural links between the countries we go to and Ghana. I am told that there is about 140,000 Ghanaians in Italy. I mean, I thought that was a huge number. But they are the linchpins to take you back to the continent. They are the partners, the natural partners that you're looking for. And for those of you in the diaspora, your natural partners are in this room. Many of you came here in search of greener economic pastures. But I'll tell you what, there are many here, Italians, who also see great opportunity on the African continent. I think that if you're able to connect, we have a winnable situation that we should take advantage of. And I did mention that the opportunity itself is very rare. But why invest in Ghana? And many ask me this question all the time. Apart from the fact that we are in the center of the world, and you know, the center always means something. The center is the only place that you can look around and see everything 360 degrees, because there's no back. We are neither west, east, north or south, we are forward-looking. And that forward-looking attitude brings us to you. We are not waiting for you to come to us. We come to you, and we tell you, this is what we can do with you. The old narration where we would sit down and wait for investors is a thing of the past. We believe that the continent and the country of Ghana offer much, much more, not just to ourselves, but to the world than we've envisaged. So we have decided to come to you and discuss with you, tell you what the opportunity is, what we can do together. And at the GIPC, now we just don't talk about the opportunities and let go. We come to you, the investor, and we ask you, what do you want to see back home that will bring you there, and we can create mutual benefit. My president always says that he wants to leave behind the view that Ghana is a place where you, the investor, where you, the Ghanaian, can actually make money. And don't we all love money? We do. We want a place where we can safely and happily make our money and grow. So what is it about Ghana that makes it the place that you must invest in? Apart from the fact that we've come to you, our political stability is a winnable point. The fact that we have a stable, peaceful country should be a natural affinity for you. If you are looking for a safe landing in Africa, Ghana has all the offerings that we want to. Now, because we are in the center of the world too, from Ghana to almost every important market in the world is less than 8 hours. The only places that are farther than 8 hours from Ghana is the Far East in Australia. But almost everywhere else, you can reach there in 8 hours or less. And that means, and from Rome, you actually get to Accra in 5 hours. What that means is that it's a purely important logistical base for you. And one of the conversations I've had with the EU about Ghana, because we have the European Partnership Agreement, is that perhaps we offer a better opportunity for European manufacturers, Italian manufacturers, to actually position in Ghana. And they asked me why. And I said, because we are right in the center of the biggest market today, the African Continental Free Trade Area. It has a population of 1.4 billion. But when you export within that zone, it is tariff-free. It is tax-free. If you export from Italy to Ghana, you are charged taxes. If you export from Ghana into a bigger market of 1.4 billion people, it is tax-free, it's tariff-free. So that offers you a bigger opportunity to optimize and grow your company than it is today. And we've always heard that, oh no, there's no money in Africa. There is money in Africa. There is money in Africa. But the history of the continent, the history of our relationships, has not enabled us to exploit and fully optimize that opportunity. Today we are offering a different narrative. We definitely are offering a different narrative. So strategic location, as I've mentioned, and accessibility is important. And in Ghana, we have much more business-friendly environments, and the GIPC is constantly reforming to ensure that the offering that we have for foreign direct investment and for our own indigenous direct investments are business-friendly and of mutual benefit. And so that is why I said we actually are coming to you to ask you, what do you want to see? What are the things that we have to work at? And even as I speak today, we are having meetings in Accra with the agencies, trying to soften the business environment, having conversations with the tax agencies, with the registration agencies, to make it easier to ensure that at the end, we have a safe, secure, sustainable business environment that all of us can be in. We, like I said, we also have a trainable workforce that today can support your companies if you want. And Ghana has a policy of educating all its young people with a free senior high school education policy to ensure that in the medium term, the minimum education of the average Ghanaian will be high school education. And that will be much more important to building new companies in partnership with foreign direct investors. Our business-friendly environment, we are constantly tweaking. We have access to other markets as well. So let me just quickly run forward to talk about some of the investment opportunities and then to a much more important part of this presentation. Currently, our priorities as a country very much what the Italian government has indicated. Agriculture, tourism, finance, technology and digitalization, manufacturing, and energy. Those are the priority sectors for which you can invest. And Ghana has significant opportunity in these areas. But even before I go into discussing in detail some of these things, maybe I can go back. Ghana as a country mirrors the African opportunity. Oops. And what does that mean? Okay. What does that mean? First and foremost, we are resource rich. And we've mentioned gold, 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 gold. I'm sure when you turn your eyes over here, the color you see the most is gold. That is symptomatic of the country in which we are. But we are a resource-rich country. We have gold, we have diamonds, we have timber, we have oil and gas, and we have a significant amount of what we call the transition minerals you need for energy transition. We have bauxite, which is used for aluminium. We have lithium, which is used today to store energy. We have sodium in salt. That is now the new source of energy for energy transitions. We have manganese. We have iron ore. We have feldspar. We have sodium. We have graphite. We have granite. We have almost every important resource that the world needs today. But that is just not all. 60% of our land is also agricultural. Ghana has approximately 30 million hectares of land that can be planted for food. So Ghana is potentially a breadbasket for the West African sub-region, also a population of 270 million people. So for those of you who are very keen on agriculture, it's a very important perspective of the opportunities that are there. There are quite a number of projects that we are doing as a country that if you come back to me, I can speak to you about and help you actualize. So just a little bit about agriculture. As I mentioned, 30 million hectares of land. It employs approximately 60% of the population of 33 million somewhere along the value chain. And it's a very important opportunity for investors. The next one is tourism. Ghana has suddenly become a natural tourist destination, especially for Africans in the diaspora. Now, what does that mean? In the year 2019, Ghana decided to celebrate the 400th year anniversary of the first batch of slaves who left the west coast of Africa to Jamestown in Virginia in the US. And we called it the Year of Return. The intention was to link back many of the Africans who, through all these ignoble acts, had left the continent or in other places. Most of them found in the Caribbean, in Latin America, in South America, and in the United States, and many other parts of Africa, because they become a major resource for transforming the continent. Now, since then, in December every year, it's the best time to be in Ghana, because we have something we call December in GH. And in that month alone, we celebrate our culture, our food, our fashion, our music, and all. And it's brought back quite a number of tourists to the country. And so for those of you in the hospitality industry, this is a great opportunity to build hotels, to build recreation areas, and to take advantage of the tourism opportunity. We are seeing a yearly increase of 25% every year because of that. Beyond the Year of Return, we've also launched Beyond the Return, which has 8 pillar areas of engaging with the hospitality industry to make Ghana a much more attractive opportunity. In there, the opportunities are large, either in real estate, in entertainment, in food. The opportunities are just massive. But that is just not all. Ghana is also a tropical rainforest country. So in terms of ecotourism, we have significant assets that you can develop as investment opportunities. And so we look forward to speaking about those as well. And then, of course, in finance, Now, we all know what has happened post-COVID and post the conflicts that are emerging recently. And prior to the COVID pandemic, Ghana's economy had grown to an average of 7% per annum to the pandemic hit. And we know that the pandemic hit almost every country in the world. But subsequent to that is the fact that there are new opportunities for new friendships, new markets, onshoring, reshoring, friendshoring of manufacturing. And Ghana presents a very important opportunity in that sense. And so we are building a new financial structure that can support many of the investments that can bring about the new opportunities that exist on the continent. And then, of course, I mentioned ICT. And we know that Italy is home of technological innovation and important, areas of ICT and digitalization. So we are already working with the Italian government to try and upskill and bring quality investments, but also quality human capital in these sectors. And today, the Ghana government has imbibed digitalization as ICT as the main means of the interaction between government and the citizenry. So we have various programs, like today, every 5 by 5 meters squared in Ghana has a digital address. So you know where people are. We've also done a digital registration where everybody is biometrically registered in Ghana. So you can find people, you know where they are, etc., etc. But we are looking at that in many other spheres. In the sphere of entertaining and gaming. And Ghana has been pointed at as the best location to scale up on the technology scene in Africa. So I think we should take advantage of that and look at it. And then I also would talk about manufacturing. And I did say that if you are a manufacturer in the EU or in Italy, and you're looking for bigger markets, the choice is obvious. The Africa continent gives you a great opportunity for your manufactured goods. And if you manufacture and you choose Ghana as where you put your factories, you can export to the rest of the continent duty-free. And what does that mean? More money and growth for your companies. And I dare say today that the African continent, with all its resources, is a major continent that you must look at. Anybody who wants to do global business today, and it's not because I'm saying, you can check it out, who wants to do global business today and hasn't had an in-depth look at the African continent will miss out a major opportunity. And Ghana, what Ghana does is to become a hub. We are positioning ourselves as a hub and a gateway into the African continent. And that's why we are here, to invite you to come talk to us and see how you can take advantage of the African continent. The manufacturing opportunities are so many. Why do I say that? I say that because Africa is resource rich, but we've always exported those resources in the wrong form and imported finished goods out of those resources. Now we want to change the narrative. And even when you have demand for those goods in Europe, we want you, the manufacturers, to come and manufacture where the raw material is. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of the market that Africa presents. And then, of course, energy. And Africa has significant energy resources, but we need to convert these into good use for manufacturing and for whatever purposes they are. Today, if you look at solar radiation from the Africa continent, it's almost 100 times more than almost any other region in the world, except in the Middle East. We also have abundant water. We have abundant wind. And we are looking to expand our solar energy, our wind energy, even nuclear energy and wave energy. There are opportunities for investors to look at those. And we invite you to come and have a look at it. Now, I did mention the second O, which is openness. And I have spoken a bit about that. The fact that we are politically stable, we are known to be very peaceful, and we offer security on the subcontinent. But we are in the center of the world, as I did say, so geographically in the center. And so from Ghana to almost any other country is just one hop away. And that we offer as one of the areas which we want to develop. But we are also headquarters of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, which is a market of 1.4 billion people and is the largest tariff-free market in the world today, post-WTO. 54 countries with today's GDP in that whole market is 1.3 trillion. But if we follow the plans of the AFCFTA as we are looking at seeing a whole turnover on the continent of 6.7 trillion, which is very important to you all. It's a market that you cannot ignore. The last, which I said was optimism, and nobody offered to get the box of chocolate. But we believe in our story. We certainly believe that there's a new future for the African continent. Many of the narratives that you've heard in the past about the risk of Africa are perceptions which have never been proven. Yes, there are problems on the continent. Yes, we do have an infrastructure deficit. Yes, we do have a development deficit. But as I always say, the future is much more important than the present. And what the continent offers today, and Africa, by the way, is probably the only continent or the only area in this world which today is opening its arms to the rest of the world. Most others are closing up. The Africa continent offers a new opportunity of mutual benefit, of partnerships that can, and I do say, that can save the world. And there are many reasons why we say so. As a government in Ghana, we've done quite a number of initiatives like the One District, One Factory, which is a nascent industrialization policy, where we are saying that every one of the 261 districts in Ghana should have a manufacturing entity based on the raw materials that we have in that section. Today is one district, one factory. Tomorrow, maybe one district, 10 factories. One district, 20 factories. And its government will give you the necessary support to ensure that your factories can build. Now, this is important for the West Africa sub-region, but also important for the African continent to bring manufacturing to our goods and our raw materials that we have. We also have what we call Planting for Food and Jobs, which is an agricultural policy to ensure that we have better use of our lands for food security. And then, of course, I said we are educating our people to ensure that we have the capable human capital to be able to do that. The skilled human capital that we need, enhanced trade facilitation through partnerships like we have with the GIZ. And I must say that we are also looking to partner with the SACE in Italy to ensure that we have the right structures for export and import of our goods, and they have a mutual understanding of it. So we are looking to sign an MOU with the SACE in the very near future. And then, of course, government has passed a public-private partnerships law to ensure that we can support you much better. If you want transactions which you want to partner government to ensure that you de-risk them, the PPPA law would give you the right framework to do that. And as I said, we are at the GIPC and at the Ministry of Trade, we are engaged in significant trade liberalization policies and reforms to ensure mutual benefit. Mutual benefit, which for me is the most critical thing. To make sure that if you're an investor, you come to Ghana, we make money, you make money. And I think for us, that's the most important thing, to create reforms that will also help us build jobs for the Ghanaians and create opportunities for you, the exporters. And very soon, all these opportunities will replace some of the things that are happening. For example, young people trying to cross the desert, cross the Mediterranean in search of better jobs, etc. Once we can create those jobs in Africa, we will avoid some of these. And that's why I think that the partnership is important. Currently, we are under an IMF program subsequent to what happened post the COVID conflict, the COVID pandemic, and the emerging conflicts which really disrupted supply chains and trade globally. And I know many other countries are there. I think together we can work to resolve some of these things in a sustainable way. And so we are looking at that. And that has led us to create even what we call the recognized sustainable investor. The investor who comes to Ghana enables us to achieve the SDGs in an accelerated form and also partners with Ghanaians. They are the companies that we would like to apply our incentives to optimally and create a winnable partnership. But I did say that there was one particular thing that I needed to speak about because my story won't be complete. And although we came here to sell Ghana, we are selling Ghana in the perspective of the new emerging Africa. And I did say that the African story has always been one of risks. And whenever you looked in the news and things, you see strife in Africa, you see this there, you see that there. And today, there's a belief that, oh, Africa, there's always coup d'etats and this and that. But we are also aware that there are global conflicts that are creating more problems on the globe than the coup d'etats in Africa. And so sometimes it's an unfair characterization. But that is not the reason why we are here. The reason why we are here is to see the opportunities that are emerging for global peace and for global growth. And the African continent is definitely the continent that will provide that. So why do I say so? There are 3 reasons why you cannot ignore the African continent. And Ghana is positioned to spearhead you into those 3 reasons. The first one is that the African continent has significant resource developments, especially those required for energy transition today. We are all worried about climate change. We are all worried about environmental degradation and what is happening on the world. But Africa has almost all the natural resource that you need to cure some of these, or you need to work and deal with climate change. For example, in terms of resources, all the resources required for energy transitions are in copious quantity on the African continent. 90% of the world's platinum, 90% of the world's chromium, the cobalt, lithium, mention it, are found on the African continent. In the past, we have not been able to use this for wealth creation. In the future, we are looking for sustainable partnerships that will enable us to exploit these, because the world needs these for its future growth. But we are not going to do it like we did before. This time we are looking for mutually beneficial partnerships that will enable us sustainably exploit these resources. And I'm sure for many of you who were in COP26 and COP27, you know the issues that arose, that Africa should cease exploitation of its raw materials because of climate change. That is not the answer. The answer to it is, how can Africa form sustainable partnerships to exploit these for global growth? Not less than 30% of the world's mineral resources are there. And if you look at the country distribution, 50% of the world's gold is on the African continent. And Ghana is the #1 gold producer on the continent today, with South Africa being the second. Africa still produces 12% of the world's oil, which will be a resource that will be used at least for the next 20 years. So despite our concerns with global change and climate change and all that, the oil and gas resource will still continue to be used for the next 20 years. And so we should pay attention to it. 22 countries on Africa produce oil and gas. 13 countries produce industrial minerals as a main export. And 11 countries are top producers of metals, which I mentioned: gold, iron, chromium, lithium, platinum, copper, are on the African continent. And these are very important resources required for global transition back into growth, pre-pandemic growth. So 1, the continent has the resources. 2, 65% of the world's remaining arable land, the world's remaining arable land, is on the African continent. Now that tells a very important story, because Africa potentially is a region left to feed the world. And notwithstanding new technologies and new ways of growing stuff, land Land is the only thing that God stopped making. So where there is land, there is wealth. And the African continent has 65% of the world's remaining arable land. So this is a time for those who are in food production to pay more attention to the continent. Because Africa will feed the world. It's not a question of my prediction. It's a question of where the world is going to. That is where the land is. That is where the arable land is. Beyond that, 12% of the world's internal freshwater sources are in Africa. So, in future, where there's a prediction that one of the most important resources required will be water, Africa once again has a resource in abundance. But it's just not all. Today, when you look at the African continent, in terms of decarbonization, the continent is naturally imbued with what will decarbonize the world. If you look at the Congo Basin alone can solve 8% of the world's emissions. It's a carbon sink for 8% of the world's emissions. But beyond that, because of its low level of industrialization, the continent provides not more than 3% of global emissions. So it's already carbon, it's already much more carbon safe than many other regions in the world. And we believe that with the right partnerships, we can work together to decarbonize the future, working through Africa. But perhaps the more critical aspect of it is the fast-growing population and markets. I did mention that today Africa's population is 1.4 billion. And by the year 2030, it would have grown to 1.7 billion. But more importantly, by the year 2050, it would have grown to 2.6 billion. 1/4 of the world's population will be African. Every 1 in 4 people in the world will be from Africa. Why is that important? It is important because Africa potentially has the biggest emerging consumer market in the world. That is not all. The African continent is the youngest population in the world. 60% of our population of 1.4 billion are under the age of 30 years. So if you are looking to market your products in the future, it just stands to reason that if you throw the dart, the first place you should hit is Africa. That is where your next market is coming from, whether you like it or not. So as an industrialist, as somebody who has to trade, your market is waiting for you. And it's the fastest urbanizing region because in the next 10 years, 80% of our population will be in cities and urban areas. They will not be in rural areas. They'll be in urban areas. If you look at it as it says that by the year 2030, 17 cities in Africa would have populations of more than 5 billion. As I speak, at least 10 cities in Africa have a population of more than 5 billion, including Accra, Lagos, Cairo, Johannesburg, Nairobi. They are all modernized and growing and emerging markets. But perhaps what for me is more important is what the African economy will be in the next 10 years. And we've seen that by 2030, annual spending on the continent will be 6.6 trillion. That should be attractive enough for any investor that is looking for new markets. But what maybe I should tell you is the myth that the risks in Africa are very high. Incontrovertible data from UNCTAD shows that repayment risk in Africa is much better than in Asia and Latin America. But the myth of that risk being there is such that almost every investor looking at the continent looks for a risk premium. I'll tell you that the story in Africa is much better than you know it. And Ghana is leading the pack in selling that story. Our president has declared a Ghana beyond aid. The continent is not looking for aid, it's looking for partnerships. Partnerships that will bring about linkages and trade. And we all know that trade is very important for our economic growth. So I presented this to you to help you understand what it is. Now, just to go back to Ghana, let's focus on Ghana for a minute. For those who haven't been in Ghana, I have these very small videos that will just show you some of the things that are happening. And as you know, we are a major producer of chocolate. So on your tables, you find a bar of chocolate. We will make sure that you eat it before you go out. So it will prepare you for lunch. So one of the key need areas in ICT today is cybersecurity and the impact of AI on new emerging technologies that can help Africa. So we are keen to speak to investors looking at that. And then for those who just want to come to Ghana and Africa and just be happy.
Imagine a place far from home, where you are still seen as family. A peaceful country, filled with affable people, decorated with stunning landscapes, world-class beaches and rainforest, also having rare wildlife in abundance. That is Ghana. Ghana is among the top tourist destinations in sub-Saharan Africa, gradually becoming the end-of-year convergence point for tourists around the world. The country mesmerizes visitors from all walks of life, with some of the world's most historic forts, delectable cuisine, and unique festivals from its diverse cultures. Indeed, there is no dull moment when you visit Ghana. The country's ecotourism offering has seen expansion in recent years as some of its main ecotourism sites, Mole National Park, Kakum National Park, Wabim Firma Monkey Sanctuary, continue to garner tourist attention. Ghana achieved significant progress in developing ecotourism tourists at some of its main nature reserves. After introducing the highly successful Year of Return campaign in 2018, Ghana cemented its place as a top travel and investment destination for Africans in the diaspora. Tourist locations all over the country are steadily being improved to meet international standards as government now mandates sites to acquire specific licenses and certification in order to operate.
So for us from Ghana, once you enter into our shores, once you land on our cities, you are home. and we would consider you as one of our own. So we look forward to seeing you now. There's a flight. You have no excuse. We look forward to see all of you come over. The opportunities are there. And one thing we have in common with Italy, you all know what that is represent. I know yesterday wasn't a very good day. We've also had our bad days, but we still ride on. We still ride, and we look forward to seeing you. And our message for us is very simple. First, grazie for being here, and we want you to come to Ghana, grow with Ghana, and grow in Ghana. So thank you very much for this.
Thank you very much, Mr. Grant, for the very insightful presentation. Indeed, we believe in our story. And what we also believe in as Ghanaians is our culture. Ghana is a country full of vibrant culture and reflects our country's ethnic diversity. What you're about to witness now is a display of Ghanaian culture by the Ghana Union Association Campania region and the Edubofo Royals. With a round of applause, kindly help me welcome the Ghanaian dance troupe to display our culture.
Devi battere la mano per Regina e Re. Siamo troppo bravi. Tutto oro come ha detto il ministro. Grazie. Io sono capa di tutta Regina d'Italia, ghanese. Mi chiama Nana Akosia Poma Ishra. Sono regina di Ghana, un paese, anche a Como, io vivo a Como. Allora oggi, benvenuta a tutti. Applauso per Ghana, e un applauso per il nostro ministro e l'ambasciatore. Bravissimi.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, our royals. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We will have a photo session after the end of the program. Thank you. Thank you. We would want to continue with our second session. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we are at the session where we are going to have conversations on the theme promoting cross-border investments. Ladies and gentlemen, may I kindly have your attention? Please settle for me so that we can continue with the program. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly settle down for me so that we can continue with the next session. So, this part of the program, we are going to discuss promoting cross-border investments, exploring opportunities and challenges for Ghanaian and Italian businesses. And for this session, it's a panel discussion. So I'd hand over to our moderator, Mr. Joseph Miracle Inti, Investment Promotion Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, to moderate this session.
A very good afternoon to you all. Good afternoon, everyone. Buongiorno. Yes, so my name is Joseph, and I'm with the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. And for this session, we want to discuss promoting cross-border investment, exploring opportunities and challenges for Ghanaian and Italian businesses. And so to have this discussion today, we have a very diverse and a very august panel. So I'd first like to call Mrs. Matilda Alomatu Osei Ajiman, who is the deputy head of mission and also doubles as the head of chancery at the Embassy of Ghana here in Rome. Next, I'd like to call Mr. Lawrence Hart, who is the director at the IOM Coordination Office for the Mediterranean. Round of applause, please. Next, I would like to call Ms. Letizia Pizzi, who is the General Director for Confindustria As Africa and Mediterranean. Next, we have Miss Amma Branford Arthur, and she is a Senior Partnership Officer at the International Fund for Agricultural Development. Round of applause, please. Next, we have Miss Ophelia Atobra, and she is the Chief Banking Officer at the Ghana International Bank. And making up the last... And making up the last member of this panel, but he's had to step out briefly, is Mr. Yofi Grant, who is the CEO of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. As we start our discussion, he'll be joining us so that we can have the conversation going. So we will just start briefly. I'll give each of the panelists a few minutes to introduce themselves. And once they introduce themselves to you and you know who they are, we will start with the questions. Please understand that we want this to be a very interactive panel. So once they are doing their submissions, you can note down your questions, your concerns, your contributions, and at the end, you will have the opportunity to also ask them some questions and gain a deeper understanding of the kinds of things that they are doing. So for the last person on the panel, we have Mr. Yofi Grant, who is the CEO of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. Please, round of applause for Mr. Yofi Grant. Yeah, so our panelists will now introduce themselves, and right after the introductions, we will go into the questions. Thank you.
Thank you. As originally or initially mentioned, my name is Ophelia Atobra. I am the Chief Banking Officer for the Ghana International Bank. I've been with the bank for actually today is 5 years exactly I joined the bank. Previous to that, I was in Ghana working for various banks from the early 90s. And I'd like to share his personal experience. I moved from UK to Ghana, and the first person I was asked to talk to was Madam Ambassador. This was in early 90s, and she was very encouraging for me to come to Ghana and also give my own back to my country. So I've been in Ghana since early 90s until 2019 when I moved from Ghana to the UK. For me, it was important that I continue to give back to my country, and the best place to do that was with the Ghana International Bank. So I think the bank has been in the UK for over 65 years. Our focus has been trade, supporting trade. Initially, it started off as Ghana International Bank, now GCB. And in 1998, we became a PLC, which is Ghana International Bank. Our shareholders are institutions in Ghana, with the major one being our central bank. The governor is our chairman. And as you can see, the bank is very development focused to support the initiatives of GIPC and government to develop trade business in Ghana and in Africa as a continent. So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. Please, this is just the introduction. So please, 1 line, 2 line, just to introduce yourself. We will go into the real questions so you can tell us more about what you do.
And here was I prepared to talk about myself since I was a child. My name is Amma Branford Arthur. I've been living in Rome since 2004, working with the International Fund for Agricultural Development. My main responsibilities are to build partnerships, primarily with Brazil and South Africa in terms of replenishment of our fund. IFAD is a specialized UN agency as well as an international financial institution. I'm here because I really would like to talk about how agriculture, agribusiness, and processing are extremely important to the fund, and to look at ways in which we might support both small and medium-scale enterprises, as well as diasporans who are interested in going back home and looking for opportunities to invest and to support themselves. So I hope I'll get an opportunity to speak more about what I do as we go on. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I am Letizia Pizzi, and being the Director General of Confindustria Africa and Mediterraneo, I represent today the Italian private sector under the umbrella of Confindustria Netto, which is the main business organization in Italy with a membership of more than 150,000 companies. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you for the invitation. I'm one of those who raised its hands when asked if I have ever been to Ghana, and yes, I can confirm I've been to Accra only a few days, but the contagious optimism still remains since then. I'm very delighted to be here with you. I represent an international organization, the UN agency, which is called International Organization for Migration. For us, it's of capital importance to be here because part of our work is to enhance existing mechanisms to foster development in order to better manage migration. As you know, it's one of those contentious issues that hit the headlines oftentimes for emergency and humanitarian reasons, but there's much more to that. And I'm here today to illustrate our work in this domain with our stakeholders, which are member states, governments, but also migrants themselves, but also diaspora, local authorities, and private sector. So for us, it's really a tremendous opportunity for being here, and I look forward to this fruitful discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Matilda Alomatu Oseajiman. I'm the Deputy Head of Mission My role is mainly to support the Ambassador, Her Excellency Mrs. Benya, in the achievement of our foreign policy objectives. It's good to know that Italy, the embassy, embodies every aspect of economic diplomacy, bilateral, regional, multilateral, and I'm glad that all the panelists here represent all those aspects of our economic diplomacy. And so I look forward to a fruitful discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now, Mr. Grant, if you could introduce yourself briefly.
I think that's about an hour late, isn't it? My name is Yofi Grant. I'm the CEO of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center under the Office of the President, and I'm very happy to be here. This is my 4th time in Italy. I first came here as a child, as a 3-year-old, so I don't remember anything.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Once again, we see this is a very balanced and diverse panel. Even, on a gender basis, this is really balanced, and so we'll be able to have a very comprehensive view. To start today's discussion, I want you to know that the discussion will be moving along 3 levels. First is a facilitation round, so we would like to see what they are all doing to facilitate cross-border investments. Then the second one, we'll look at opportunities for investments, opportunities for collaborations, how we can all plug into the opportunities and take advantage of them. And the last part of it will be action-based. What are the specific actions you can take? What are the specific actions they are taking to enable all of us have mutual benefits from this engagement and the engagement we'll have moving forward? So on the facilitatory aspect, I'd want to start with Mr. Yofi Grant. And what I would want to know, and what I'm sure everybody here wants to know, is it's in twofold. What is the GIPC doing to facilitate the diaspora or foreign direct investment into the country? And what are some of the key policy initiatives that you have to facilitate investment into the country?
Thank you. Very interesting questions. Purely on the diaspora stage, it's interesting to note that we actually, within the GIPC, have formed a Diaspora Investment Desk that engages directly with the diaspora. And over these past 2 weeks, we've been to 4 countries, but last year we went to quite a number of countries in Latin America and North America. Where in North America, we went to 6 cities. And out of that, we've already seen some investments happen in Ghana, which is very encouraging for us. So we are looking forward to seeing some also come in partnerships between Italians and Ghanaians who live here to establish businesses in Ghana. We also have set up an aftercare unit that supports and helps investors mainstream their ideas and their investments into the country. And the aftercare unit also acts as an in-between government and private sector. So when an investor comes in and he or she has problems, they come to our aftercare, and the aftercare will then go and fight their battles for them. In many cases, made us popular on one side and unpopular on the other side, and then sometimes it changes, But the important thing is to give the investor comfort and support that they can set up sustainable, dependable, and rewarding investments in the country. On the policy side, there are quite a lot. For the diaspora, recently there's been what we call the Homeland Act, which is soon going to be given assent by the President. It's a new law that sets the regulatory environment to support the diaspora coming back to Ghana. We also have the diaspora policy, which also further describes that. But for most investors, we are the ones that you come to first. We very often, try to advise investors that when they come to Ghana, they should come to the GIPC first, even though you may have found Ghanaian partners or you have found somebody to work with. It's always good to come to us. So we give you the right cover and give you the right regulatory regimes and references for your businesses.
Thank you very much. So there seems to be a lot happening on the Ghana side. So I'll now go to the head of Chancery here in Rome to understand what the embassy or the representative of the Ghanaian people in Rome is also doing to support the diaspora who want to invest back home and other people here who want to invest back home in Ghana.
Thank you very much. I'd like to start by giving maybe a broad overview about where we take our initiatives from. Indeed, the Constitution of Ghana and our foreign policy objectives all align with what we should do, promoting the interests of Ghana, in this case, economic interests of Ghana, and also promoting and protecting the interests of our compatriots. As we heard earlier, we have about over 140,000 Ghanaians in Italy. That's a huge constituent that we need to pay attention to. And so the conceptual base of our foreign policy is drawing from our constitution, our foreign policy objectives. Now coming down to the operational bit, this is where we try to apply the tools of the economic diplomacy, which the president spearheads, which our foreign ministry spearheads, represented by foreign minister, and now here by our deputy foreign minister. So under the leadership of the ambassador, first of all, we try to engage our compatriots because they need a sense of belonging. They need to know that they are loved, they are accepted. So that is the only way we can begin to exact some benefits from them. And so we have community engagement, we attend church services with them, we have national days where we bond. We actually have an online registration form as well, just so we know who is where, whose expertise we can tap into. We have online visa applications, and our visa processes, it's not because I work at the embassy, but I can attest to the fact that it's very efficient. We also have a way of supporting the formation of groups, associations. We support them quite a lot. And so having done that, having exacted the fact that we can draw from their belongingness, then we begin to share information on what Ghana has to offer them. Indeed, there has been no occasion where the ambassador has traveled to any of our events that she hasn't talked about the fact that our compatriots, number one, try and invest in Ghana, try and form partnerships with Italian investors. Indeed, an example is that a few months ago, one Ghanaian led about 3 investors to the embassy, where we saw that these 3 investors were aligned with all the focus areas we are talking about today. I don't want to go into that because we know all the focus areas already. So all these 3 investors were aligned with all the 4 focus areas. We have had our honorary consuls here. Honorary consuls are actually, they represent Ghana. They are Italian nationals, but they represent Ghana, and they look out for our compatriots. They promote trade and investment in collaboration with our compatriots, and so they also sell Ghana. And we are lucky we have an ambassador who's a lawyer. We also share regulatory information. She tells them about the legal aspects of what you need to look out for. She talks about all that the head of the GIPC has talked about today. And so she goes into details. So we've had a lot of Ghanaians who have invested in Ghana, who have also formed partnerships with Italian nationals to ensure that we promote cross-border investments. Indeed, we've had also a few Ghanaians who have asked questions about access to finance. Maybe that we can delve into a bit, because we realize that some of them need to be assured that when they come to Ghana, GIPC be the one-stop shop. What advice can you give to them when it comes to accessing finance to do their businesses? We have also found a way to link them up with Ghanaian agencies and even Italian companies. Indeed, the first, maybe I should talk about the high-level visits. That has been a foundation for economic engagement. ITA Air, we've shared information on these areas. That's the best way you can have movement of goods and services. And so sharing information, market intelligence information, helping them with advisory services and engagements to promote belongingness. So these are some of the things that we've done as an embassy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It looks like through your work, you are a really huge neon sign pointing to Ghana. So thank you very much for your work. Still on the facilitatory aspects, I'll now go to Ms. Ophelia Tobra from the Ghana International Bank. And my question to you is to understand how you as a bank are facilitating cross-border investments, because they've told us what they are doing on the policy side and on the program side. We want to understand from your financing side, what are the initiatives you are using to facilitate investments into Ghana?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I think, like I mentioned earlier, Ghana International Bank has been operating as a trade finance bank way back. We are in our 65th year, and we have a lot of experience in managing trade finance business. In 1998, when we became a PLC, obviously we broadened our offering, and apart from just financing or facilitating trade, we also started looking at how we can support on the treasury side and also provide some investment opportunities in terms of savings products to some of our individuals in the diaspora. So we have quite a number of residential clients who do business with us, who want to send money back home. Obviously, because of our partnerships with financial institutions across Africa, we provide a very good intermediary for that business. But in terms of cross-border, like I said earlier, our main offering is to facilitate trade. So we're talking about how businesses can make payments from the UK into any of the operating clients in Africa. We are with, at the moment, of course, we have 19 banks that we work with in Ghana. We're in Liberia, Senegal, Gambia, and Guinea as well. Like I said, we do all types of trade-related products. We confirm LCs. We confirm documentary collections, and again, we do payments both from and to our African jurisdiction. So we've been doing this for years. We have a lot of expertise in it. I guess as a government-owned institution, our key development focus is to support GIPC, to support government in their development agenda. And I think we will continue to do so. In recent times, and I'm sure you'll be happy to hear that, we are looking to actually set up an SME desk for our small businesses in the UK, wanting to do business in Africa. Likewise, in Africa, wanting to do business in Europe, UK, and by extension, Europe as well. So I think we have some information around, hopefully, we can speak more about how we can support cross-border business relationships. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. So if I'm getting you correctly, essentially what you are saying is what you do is real. There are real businesses you are supporting. Oh, yes. And if there are people here who want to engage with you, the door is open and they can see you for you to really support their businesses. It's a real thing. Definitely. It's not theoretical. It's not about to happen. It's happening now.
In fact, I'd just like to share one experience. We have a company that is into cocoa business in Ghana. And in recent times, they've grown such that now they are actually doing business in America. And through our support, they've been able to transition from small business in Ghana to now a big cocoa processing business in the US. So basically, we are there to support business grow as much as possible.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, I mean, because you are mentioning the real things you are doing to support businesses, I would like to go to Ms. Pizzi, who is representing the private sector, and your umbrella body has about 150,000 businesses. So I want to understand from you, how the experience is like, how you are supporting businesses, or how you can support businesses to move into Ghana and to support Ghanaian businesses who want to do business in Italy. The facilitatory role that you are playing for these businesses.
Thank you. Let me just briefly explain what Confindustria Africa Mediterraneo is. It is an association of companies. Our membership is composed by the major Italian companies working in Africa and the Middle East, and small and medium-sized enterprises, banks, and also other business association, sectorial association, or regional association being part of Confindustria. So our membership, our network of companies is multi-sectorial and diversified, and our main objective is to create a business community that has experience in African continent, that has experience in every country, in Ghana in this case, and keeping them together in order to better understand what are the opportunities, giving them the information about and the different narrative of those countries. As Mr. Grant was saying, today we are giving a different narrative of Ghana, and especially in Italy. I mean, it's now everybody is talking about Africa as an opportunities. It hasn't been like this since 3 or 4 years, and I think that also what we have been doing in this last year in order to explain to Italian companies how it's important now to be present in African continent, be present with a direct presence, finding a local partner, establishing investments, because now we have the chance to be present. Otherwise, we will miss a huge market. We will miss a reliable counterpart, and this is what we do in our activities. We organize B2B meetings, B2G meetings, business mission. We have been hosting like 10 high-level institutional representatives just in last year, from president to prime minister and so on. So we will be available to organize a business forum also together again, and also to maybe with Ghana Promotion Center, it will be important to understand which are the specific sector of interest and to organize an action plan to focus on that, supporting companies to better know which are the new rules, the new advantages, the new opportunities, and how they can be there. Talking about some specific program to Ghana, what we have done recently, we are partner of Lab Innova for Africa, which is a specific training program for African companies, and Ghana is part of this in the agribusiness sector. And in 2020, Ghana was selecting for participating to this program, focusing on agro-industry sector, as I was saying, and several Ghanese entrepreneurs took part to this initiative. So it was a training initiative. Confindustria Safia Mediterranea is also partner of MacFruit, which is the most important fair in Italy in the horticulture sector. So in 2023, Ghana Pavilion in MacFruit was the biggest one, and every year there is a huge participation by Ghanaian agriculture representative operators, let's say, and in 2024 we have organized also 3 business conferences on Africa in different countries. So this is what we do.
Thank you very much, and I'm happy you mentioned a lot of concrete things you are doing, but one that stood out for me, particularly in the context of this panel, is agriculture and agribusiness and how you are supporting businesses. So the next question we have will be for Ms. Branford Arthur and Madam Branford Arthur, and we want to understand, because you are talking about agribusiness now, what are the ways in which IFAD is supporting sustainable agriculture and agribusiness, and how are you promoting that sector?
So the guiding principle of IFAD is to work in rural areas with the poor rural communities, with the deprived, with the marginalized, and that includes women, the youth, looking at the challenges that confront them in the rural areas and supporting them to overcome these challenges. It's interesting how our mission has changed in terms of the byline that we've had. It used to be working with poor rural people to overcome their poverty. We've moved it to investing in the rural areas because I think they decided that the first logo implied a sense of helplessness, a lack of participation by the rural people in their own destiny. Now we're looking at how much agency there is among communities of the Global South particularly, and the other hat I wear is South-South and triangular cooperation, looking at ways in which we can bring learning and solutions from various parts of the Global South to other parts of it. In Ghana in particular, when we look at what IFAD is doing, it's looking at how it can improve access to finance by looking at initiatives that de-risk the lending, because notoriously the bigger banks are not willing to lend to the rural communities, given that agriculture is such an unpredictable venture, especially now that there's serious challenges with climate change. IFAD looks at how it can work with the diaspora, looking at the diaspora not as migrants or immigrants, but as a significant contributor to the economies of the countries from which they come. And looking at how we might use the huge amount of remittances, as Yofi talked about earlier, not just for a funeral or to clear a particular debt, but to see how we might invest it so that it becomes an opportunity for investment that can also be used as collateral. So IFAD, for example, is working with the Fidelity Bank on a program that looks to strengthen the participation of diasporans in the funds that they remit, and see how it can be set up as a growing fund for agriculture and for investments. So when I was coming, I talked to two particular parts of the organization. I talked to the private sector facility, which we've set up, and I also talked to the financing for remittances and asked them to give me some information, and hopefully there will be the opportunity to speak more about that as we continue, and I can also give you links to get more information.
Thank you very much. For this facilitatory round, the last question will be with IOM, because you've mentioned climate change and you've mentioned, how it's impacting agric, and we want to understand more from IOM's perspective, because they have a program which seeks to address climate action and other related actions. So we've spoken at the institutional level. We want to understand from IOM, since you work with individual diaspora and the diaspora as a constituency, what are the things you are doing to empower the diaspora to engage in cross-border investments, through their own individual activities? And if you could also talk a bit about the D4C and how it fits in with agric and growing resilience.
Thank you. Yes, very, very, very complex question. I'll try to unpack it as simply as possible. First of all, I think one of the best... We have a multiplicity of ambassadors of Ghana, apart from the formal embassy in Rome. The Ghanaian community in Italy can be powerful ambassadors towards promoting the potential and the opportunities that Ghana has. So for us, the role of our work is being enablers and basically providing the tools to the diaspora communities in making them more entrepreneurial. Diasporas can be a very atomized and heterogeneous community. They can be one man, one woman shop, but they can be very well organized towards more kind of business-oriented, promotion-oriented communities. Hence the importance of giving those diaspora communities the right tools to be ambassadors and promoters of those opportunities, because they can promote cross-border investment and entrepreneurial initiatives in Ghana by leveraging its unique position of contact with not only their fellow citizens in Ghana, but also with Italians in Ghana. But they can also facilitate flows of information, capitals, and resources. Hence our role in providing regularly to the diaspora communities at large in Italy those entrepreneurial skills, which are trainings, but also prizes towards the most innovative programs that can then be scaled up or even replicated as successful templates. So that's the work that we do. Obviously, as was mentioned before, diaspora investors and entrepreneurs are often driven by emotional and social drivers, such as benefiting families and friends and the desire to contribute to social and economic development of their country. But there are barriers, obviously, and the barriers we need to take into account are those of bureaucracy. One of the problems that we often hear from our constituencies is the private sector saying, when we go to a certain country, yes, they tell us there are a lot of opportunities, but then we don't find the right documentation, and it makes us it makes our work really complicated. So hence the importance of having structures like the one that in Ghana that helps cut the red tape and also orient as quickly as possible the investors and the promoters. Another element which I wanted to, and I think, another important achievement that I would like to highlight specifically for Ghana is that they have set up a comprehensive institutional framework to engage with diaspora, including a diaspora engagement policy since December last year, 2023, providing enabling conditions for its diaspora to significantly engage and contribute. Another element which I was briefly alluded to, but I think it's part of the conversation, is to create opportunities for Ghanaians to come to Europe, to Italy, even on a temporary basis, to favor the exchange of skills, but also to bring them back to the country of origin, but leaving a legacy to the Italian private sector, which is multiculturality. We often heard from private sector that multiculturality is not a badge of honor. It's a silver bullet to compete in an increasingly competitive market, global market. Having multiculturality within the firms is of absolute importance. So we're very committed now in this moment to enable regular pathways. Regular pathways means corridors for labor opportunities for people to come to Italy following a vocational training activity in the country of origin. Not to extract the excellence of that country, but rather to strengthen the excellence of that country. So the vocational training would target not only people that will go to another country, but they also would contribute in staying in Ghana. So going also finally for Diaspora for Climate Change, what do we do? What can we do? What do we offer? First of all, creation of platforms for dialogue and exchange between the Ghanaian diaspora and relevant stakeholders in both countries to identify investment opportunities and address those potential challenges, because we need to talk about challenges. Secondly, to build evidence, collecting data to fill knowledge gaps through diaspora mappings. As I said, it's a very atomized and complex context. Providing technical assistance and capacity development programs to help diaspora entrepreneurs. Facilitating access to finance by connecting diaspora investors with financial institutions and investment promotion agencies. And finally, promoting policies that encourage diaspora investment and ensure that investment are channeled towards sustainable and climate resilient projects.
All right, thank you for that very comprehensive response. But maybe three or four times, you mentioned the fact that there were opportunities, but sometimes you weren't structured. You have a platform to connect diaspora with the opportunities, and so on and so forth. So for this round, we want to focus on the opportunities that the diaspora and investors here can really leverage in Ghana and in Italy. So we'll start with Mr. Yofi Grant. If you could highlight some of the key opportunities for investors you see. We don't want theoretical, we want sectors that are real. People put in money, they have returns, their businesses grow. We want to see real sectors that people here can invest in and start businesses in.
First, I don't know which sector can be theoretical, because almost every investment opportunity is real. There are quite good examples in the construction side, where in Ghana, the examples of Italian companies that have done very well in construction. For example, if I mention the Trasaco project, it's basically Italian, but it's built high-quality, high-end homes that have all been acquired and built some very interesting properties as well. But beyond that, there are some too in the engineering space, in the road construction space, but I did mention that agriculture and technology are some of the emerging areas. Solar is another emerging area, and definitely agriculture, farming, and food processing are key areas that you can actually invest. The good thing about Africa and the good thing about Ghana is, in reality, there's so much opportunity because many of the sectors are the low end of development. So and I would not say every market is frontier market. Some markets are much more developed, and Ghana is a much more developed market than many others. So there are many areas in which you can actually engage and invest, and you would have returns.
Yeah, thank you. So we move to Ms. Pizzi, again on the opportunities. What kind of opportunities do you see as an umbrella body? I'm sure you've engaged with thousands and thousands of businesses. So what opportunities do you see in the Ghanaian market which you believe investors and businesses here can leverage on? Or what opportunities in Italy also present a good starting point for Ghanaian businesses as well?
I will start by the last consideration of Mr. Grant. Ghana has many opportunities because everything, even if it's one of the most modern country in the West, in the sub-Saharan Africa, there are a lot to do to create industries, create manufacturing there. So the opportunities that we see, for example, in the agro-industry sector, are in all the supply chain. Italian companies have technology as the machinery to contribute on the realization of an industry in your country. So this is very important for the agri-food sector, is important for the energy sector, also for the mineral sector, because you have the raw material there, you have the strategic raw materials, and this is extremely important for Italian companies. And also we believe that another sector that is quite important is the digital sector. We have Italian companies with strong competencies in the digital sector also. Some of them are working very well for the realization of a specific program in the public administration digitalization in some countries. So I believe that we can also see opportunities in your country for these companies. And I believe there are so many opportunities that it's extremely important to have you here today, and our goal will be to have more companies, Italian companies present, and to create partnership between the Italian company present here and the Ghanaian local operators.
Thank you very much. So we will, for this same question, we will also ask Madam Atsobra to also give us some perspective from her as a financier. What are the kinds of businesses you see doing well, and which could provide some insight into the investment opportunities that businesses here can be looking at?
Thank you very much.
Quite briefly, if
sure.
you can.
I think, like I said earlier, the bank has this background of trade finance, and the opportunity we see is, of course, with the Africa Free Trade, there's a lot of business coming out and in of Africa, based on the fact that we are a UK bank, we have access to cheaper capital, We have access to technologies that can help facilitate our trade business in a more efficient way. In recent times, and I think somebody talked about remittances, we have quite a number of companies that are remitting funds through us to the Africa continent. So if that's an area of business one might be interested in, which is has huge opportunities, we can also facilitate that. We do a lot of financing of government projects. We've done aviation, railways, and so forth, supporting government initiatives. We look for businesses that can also help us to raise foreign exchange to be able to do some of the importations that support our government. So I think in terms of opportunity, especially with the Africa Free Trade, there's a lot of business that we can support. And in fact, in recent times, we've had a lot of engagement with development partners such as Africa Development Bank, Afri-Exim, who see us well positioned to support development and growth of Africa trade business.
Thank you very much. I've noted many opportunities from you, which look like very good places we can start from. But we're also running out of time. So first, I need to let you know that right after this session, we'll be breaking for lunch. So, if you are thinking about what to do after this, there's lunch for you. No need to worry about it. So we will also now take some questions. If you have some questions, if you're in the audience, you have some questions, we'll be doing a Q&A session within the next 5 minutes so that if you have any questions, we can address those questions. So we take the questions and then we come to the panelists for their concluding remarks, which will focus on the key actions we can take here in order to really derive maximum benefits from this session. So if you have any question, anything you want more clarity on.
Thank you. My name is Francesco Campagna. I'm Honorary Consul of Ghana in Palermo for Sicily and Calabria. I thank you for a very interesting panel. Mr. Yofi Grant tell us that Africa and Ghana needs a new narrative. I'm a strong believer of the opportunity that this narrative can come also through diaspora, for sure, and through the products of Ghana. Think so what happened with the wine in Italy. A bottle of wine tell about Italy and about that specific territory, that specific region everywhere in the world. The same can be possible for Ghana, for his product. Diaspora, also, the main actor, because diaspora, every member of the diaspora are the first ambassador. So if we connect the product for a new narrative, so we need enlightened companies that are able, and the Italian company can help in create a new narrative through the products. And then diaspora, that has to be step by step sustained, supported in becoming a really ambassador. These are, I think, the most important thing. Last thing, I'm a strong believer also of the diplomacy of the cities. Because diaspora, migrants, Ghanaians, lives in a city, in a community. They build a very strong relationship with that city. The twinnings agreement, the relationship, the memorandum of understanding among the towns, between cities, is a boost. Palermo is twinned with the second Ita Corradi. Tomorrow I will take the Ita. I take your invitation for serious, for real. I will take the Ita for a week of cultural exchange in Takoradi. But this twinning agreement, under the umbrella of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, with the support of the mission on Rome, step by step, is becoming a real boost that is helping also companies to look at Ghana as a real place where something can happen. The project then has been awarded by EU because we got a funding from the EU to support this project. Because partnership, the diplomacy of the city, the connection between community is a very strong boost. And diaspora, in this multicultural aspect that makes our city really in a global scenario. Without the diaspora, without the Ghanaians in my town, we have no that town, the town that we are now, today. So we have to be proud. But step by step, the diaspora need a support. For example, for self-entrepreneurship. In the south part of Italy, they are not, why Bangladesh people open shops everywhere and not Ghanaians? Why they have not, why the youngest and smartest Ghanaians, girls and boys, as soon as possible, get to go to England, to Germany, out. Okay, if they want to come back, if they go back Ghana because they have learned, they have skills, good. But why they have to go to and work in a pizza house in London and they don't find an opportunity here? So the approach needs specific programs to help them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we'll take a few more comments or questions. If there are any questions or any comments you want to share, this will be the time.
Hi, hello everybody. I'm Chiara Verdiresi and I'm a business developer of an Italian company. And yeah, I would like just to give you our experience because we are one of the Italian companies who are investing in the Ghanaian market. In fact, we received some European investment to do a project in Ghana. And I'm very proud to announce that next week we will ship in Ghana our technological devices. Yeah, thank you very much. It is hard because it's not so easy to do business in Ghana for some difficulties, also transaction difficulties and also the partnership to be set up. But we are very proud to discover this market. It was like a surprise for us, and we received some European investment to deploy our technological devices in Ghana. We are a company that is focused on air pollution abatement, so we are a decarbonization technology. And our goal and mission is to abate every kind of pollution from the air, including CO2, and also enabling the energy efficiency in buildings. That's why we are trying to test our technology in buildings in Ghana and find to have some data in order to replicate the project in other kind of I don't know, buildings or for other kind of stakeholders. Our technology is can be customized. In fact, one of the important topic in Ghana is the agriculture sector, and we also tested our technology to abate ammonia and CO2 in the agriculture sector. That's why we already tested in London, actually. So, but we would like to replicate the project also in Africa, also thanks to the Piano Mattei, because we know that there will be some important investment in the future. And last month I was in Accra to do the check on buildings and find the best space to deploy our devices. And I found a very fantastic country. I didn't expect it to discover like a very innovative environment. So I was thinking to discover some, I don't know, like on processing country, but actually Ghana is doing a lot, and we would like to go ahead with this kind of process. And my question is, can you support us? Can you support Italian company to do more in this kind of countries? So maybe find stakeholder, find some investment to replicate project. We are trying to invest for now by ourselves, but it's a small project. We would like to contribute to renew and do some project for urban requalification in Ghana.
Thank you.
So I think that it's important to have the support of the institutions.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we'll note that question down. Mr. Grant will address it. If there's any other question, we'll just take that. Yeah.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Cecilia Ajimayanane, and I live in Rome. I've been living here for so many years. I'll be retiring in end of September to Ghana, and I would like to embark on agribusiness. I was thinking about studying the Ghanaian market. We have a lot of cooking oils that I think some are not healthy for us. So I was thinking of producing granite oil in Ghana. And so if I come to Ghana, for instance, to your office for information about production of granite oil, whom do I contact? How do I do it? And if I have to import machinery, am I going to get some tax waiver? And how am I going to do to contribute to the Ghanaian economy? I also have an idea of organic fruit juices, production of organic fruit juices. So my question goes to Mr. Fifi Grant. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we'll take responses first from Mr. Yofi Grant about the support you can get from GIPC, and then we'll have IOM also speak about how they can help you as a diaspora transition into the Ghanaian market.
Hi. Yes, of course, the first place you should come to is GIPC, and our research unit to help you, but then we'll refer you to the relevant agency that is in that area, likely to be Ministry of Agri. They do support quite a number of new initiatives in the agri sector with capacity building, but also the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, which also helps with, and the Ghana Entrepreneurship Agency, which help people like you. But our diaspora office will point you to the right place. Definitely.
Thank you. I'll keep it short because I guess food appetite is growing. So just to pick up on what the lady that just suggested specific issues on what are the potentials. I just want to give a very, very brief examples. For instance, investment and entrepreneurial activities in sustainable agri-food systems could be particularly promising. Why? Because a large share of the community, of the Ghanaian community, is based in the stronghold of the Italian agri-food industry, which is the region of Emilia-Romagna, where the largest share of remittances come from. According to the Bank of Italy, around 25% of remittances in 2023. So there is low-hanging fruit, and I think this is something we should be tapping into. Oh, thanks.
Let me add to it. In addition to it, Madame, the Agence Française Développement, the French financing agency, have actually started a program where they are supporting the diaspora to invest in small businesses on the continent. And it would be good to just go online and check, and you find the relevant information. But they are actually offering facilities, financial facilities, as well as technical support to companies doing so. But so is GIZ. And GIZ is right here, so you should speak to them.
I just wanted to add something. The lady who talked about having some difficulties in doing business, of course, you have the go-to person here. But indeed, I'm not sure the embassy is aware of what you're doing in Ghana. Have you reached out to us as an embassy yet? Oh, you have? Okay. So maybe I should use that platform to appeal to everybody. If you're having difficulties, the ambassador runs an open door policy, so please do reach out to us. The Honorary Consul in Palermo, indeed, we visited Palermo. We had a very good engagement with him. He takes care of our compatriots' interest a lot. Mr. Campagna, so does Mr. Di Fazio and Mr. Tariconi, who are the 3 honorary consuls. And indeed, from those meetings, the feedback to Accra is one of the reasons that has prompted the GIPC coming here today. It's our feedback from institutions from here back to Accra that facilitates these events. So it's good what you're doing, but I want to assure everybody that when we get this feedback and we attend meetings, we have events, then it goes to Accra, and then it engenders what we are having here today. So always do reach out to the embassy when you're having problems, and we'll see how to resolve it together. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We will be unable to take more questions at this time, but our panel members will be here. They will be around. So if you have any questions you want anybody to help you with, you can approach them and they'll be able to assist you. So as we close this panel, everybody will now have the chance to make a call to action, a closing statement where we can find you, how we can reach out to you, and how you can support. Very direct call to action and very straightforward. And then we end on the panel, starting with Mr. Grant.
As my presentation said, come grow with Ghana and grow in Ghana. We'll help you do that.
I think I just did that. I think I may have just done that when I said reach out to the embassy. We are there to help you, advisory services. We'll reach out to the organizations in both ways. Italian organizations, Ghanaian organizations, which have been very productive. I mean, Confindustria, the Italian Trade Agency, Confimi Industria, AGCI. So once you reach out to us, we're able to form a certain collaboration, do some networking on your behalf, and then we follow up for you as well. So the embassy is there to help you, the Italian side, the Ghanaian side. So please do reach out to us with your challenges, and we'll be more than willing to be there for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Hart.
www.iom.int. We are present in Rome, in Accra, and in other parts of the world. So feel free to reach us. You will find all the contacts of our office.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Pizzi.
Just want to say some words about the support that we can give to the Italian company, also under the Mattei plan. You know that this plan is announced recently, but there are opportunities under this plan, especially about financial support. Concerning the energy efficiency and green transition, there is a special climate fund that could be utilized for a project like the lady has explained. So this is what we do, actually. We help companies to find financial support, to find counterparts. So you can find us in Rome. We have our website as well, like asafrica.it. We are here today, so we can talk about later.
Thank you very much, Madam Branford Arthur.
Yes, like Mr. Hart, it's www.ifad.org. But more than that, I think I'd like to encourage Matilda and the embassy. I think there's quite a thirst for information, not only among Italian businesses, but also among ourselves. It's really important for us to know how we're going to be able to survive when we go back home, and how we're going to be able to help our people to survive that are still home. So I really would ask if it would be possible, not to ask people to come to the embassy, but to see opportunities where we might organize and draw people from the various institutions in Rome, just informal gatherings where we can talk about opportunities for investment and agriculture, agribusiness, and how we might look for support. I think it would be a brilliant idea.
Thank you very much for that actionable recommendation. Now we will take the Ghana International Bank.
Yes, so basically, when you think about money, think about Ghana International Bank. We are based in the UK. We have a rep office in Accra. We support business as well as individuals in the diaspora. We are there to help. We're there to support government in their development agenda. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, our panelists, and thank you very much for being a very good audience. I know we couldn't take all your questions, but they'll be around, and if you have any questions, you can always reach out to them. We will now yield the floor to the MC to ensure that we have a very great event. Thank you very much for your time and your attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, we haven't closed the session yet, so in a few minutes. So if I could ask you to take your seats, and then we get the session closed properly, and we can all head out downstairs to have our lunch. I know we are all hungry, so please, just a little more time. So quickly, I have called the representative of BF Group to share his 2-minute experience about doing business with and in Ghana.
So, can I go?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. As Ghanaian said, Akwaba. So I don't belong. We don't belong to
Ladies
Ghana.
and gentlemen, can I ask that we are seated to listen to the 2-minute presentation of the BF Group, and then we can close the session properly with remarks from the CEO of GIPC and head to lunch.
If you
May
want
I
to go
ask
to
that-
have lunch, you have to listen to me.
Lunch is premised on this, so please.
So thank you very much. I don't belong to the diaspora of Ghana, but I belong to the diaspora of Africa, because I was born in Freetown. So from today, I am very honored to be part from also Ghana diaspora. In 2019, I started to go to Ghana, and after 4 years, including COVID, finally we finalized the acquisition of an agricultural farm in Ghana, in the Volta region area, Aveimi precisely, and this is a farm with 7,000 hectares. So we are very proud about this project. We start working on site in January 2024. We have a presentation to show you, but you don't have time to see it, so there is no problem. But let me tell you that we felt in love in this country. So we believe that this country is a very potential country. Today we have 7,000 hectares farm with banana and other crops that we are developing in Aveimi. And so we are going today for wheat, rice, tomatoes, soya, and other crops. So our idea is for 2026, we will have around 7,000 hectares totally cultivated by our local company. Our local company is a Ghanaian company. We have all our people working there are from Ghana. Our engineers and agronomes, they are working also in Ghana with us from Italy. And as Italian company, we are the biggest agriculture company in Italy, the only listed in the stock market exchange. So we are proud also to sponsor this event today. And we thank you very much for inviting us. And hopefully we'll have other opportunity to meet. So as Italians said, viva l'Italia, viva Ghana, and viva l'Africa.
Thank you very much. Do we have any Ghanaian-owned business person here who would want to share a 1-minute experience? Emphasis on a 1-minute experience. No? No. Okay. I would like to call upon Mr. Yofi Grant, the CEO of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, back on stage to give us the closing remark, after which we would go downstairs to the Bell RT for lunch.
First of all, my sincere appreciation to the government of Italy for granting us audience and being also a part of this whole thing, and of course to the other minister. Unfortunately, the Minister of Foreign Affairs had to leave because he has a flight to catch. And I think he forgot and got too enthusiastic, so he had to rush out. And also, our biggest thanks goes to GIZ for the Ghana-Europe project, which is certainly in the sphere of migration. And therefore, for those of you in the diaspora, that's a starting point for many of your initiatives. But also to all of you who stayed. I know I shouldn't talk too much because I'm standing between you and lunch, and that's not a good place to be. But our sincere gratitude for staying with us, listening to our story. Our job at the GIPC is to ensure that when you do come, you have a thriving and successful business. Sometimes it's not easy because, there are issues with tax regimes, regulatory regimes that you have to overcome. Our job is to help you negotiate and overcome those. And I was very clear in my statement that the new African narrative is real. I mean, I have, I don't know how I should say it, but I've traveled probably to about 80 countries by now. And when I look at what Africa presents today, never in the time of its own history has there been a bigger opportunity. But never in the time of the continent's history has there been a time when it's open to partnerships and engagement than now, when the world has faced severe crises and many changes and challenges. I think that in my mind, and from what I see as a former investment banker, that the African opportunity presents a clear solution to some of the world's economic problems, because it has the population, it has the resources, and it's open. And so I would urge you, those who really want to take that step, we will not only bring you to Ghana, but we will also help you engage the other countries that you want through the investment promotion agencies. We have an association, and I am the representative of the world stage, so I will help you actualize that. And I believe that very strongly you would appreciate this moment when the opportunity was given to you. We believe in the future of the world, but it can only happen with sustainable, practicable, mutually beneficial partnerships. And so thank you very much for staying. We'll still be here for lunch. We can have all the conversations, and if you have any questions for which you want, but eat first. And let's have an engagement that would surely help us all grow.
Thank you, Mr. Grant. With his few words, I would want to declare that lunch is ready. Thank you very much for your participation in the Diaspora Investment Summit, and we hope to see you do business in and with Ghana soon. Thank you very much. I would want to announce that lunch is in the Bell RT. It's downstairs. Straight to the lobby, the staircase downstairs. The ushers will direct you to the hall where lunch would be at.